Real quick, this podcast is based on my own research, my perspective, and the stories I was able to dig up. So I might not have every detail, but a lot of this shit, yeah, it really did happen. So y'all don't come for me. Oh, and I need to warn y'all. Some episodes include violent crimes, rape, homicide, and crimes against children. So listener discretion is advised. They say Florida's all sun, beaches, and palm trees, but we know different. This ain't tourist Florida. This the truth. From Duval to Dade. Because down here, Florida ain't sweet.
It be large.
All right, y'all. This your girl Punkin, and we back. I'm here with my co-host.
It's all swell when you're dealing with Dale.
So today's episode is called "The Neighbor Knew the Floor Plan."
Like the home or the apartment floor plan?
Yeah, the floor plan.
Okay.
So, bro, this one right here.
The neighbor knew the floor
The
plan.
neighbor knew the floor plan.
Okay.
It's two elderly twin sisters, and they killer, he wasn't no stranger. So we gonna get in our box Chevy, and we gonna ride up to West Palm Beach. We gonna take it back to 1997. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so on July 24th, 1997, two 66-year-old widowed twin sisters, Claire Brunt and Denise Flegel, they lived together at 2000 South Ware Street in West Palm Beach. They had shared their home since 1983. And you remember 1983 because...
So from 83 to 97.
83 to 97, they lived together.
As
like
widows.
twin sisters.
As widows.
As widows, yes.
Wow, that's a long time.
You know, my auntie, Miss Rosetta and her sister stay together. They've been stayed together for a long time like that. It just reminds me. Well, I hope not. Let me not say that because kind of fucked up story. I don't need that to happen to Miss Rosetta and them.
I'm just 14. Okay, 97.
Now, they took care of each other. They retired, friendly. Everybody knew them in the neighborhood. Now, right next door at 2006 Ware Drive lived Carlton Francis. And that's who we're going to talk about today.
So this, okay, I'm going to let you keep going, but it already sounds like, they live in a complex where my place is laid out just like your place. So, of course, I'm going to know the floor plan.
I think it's like houses. You know how like all the houses they got the same developer?
In the same
So it's
community.
probably, probably something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this going to hit home because Carlton Francis was born July the 2nd, 1975. He had cancer. And you know, because we got a July the 2nd cancer in our house. So that nigga is a real crap.
Yeah, but I don't want that crap to be like Carlton. Whatever Carlton got going on.
I hope not. I really hope not. Okay, so in his house, it included his mother, Eleanor Good.
That's her real name?
Yes, Miss L. You know Miss L.
Miss L. No, you said Miss Goods.
Eleanor Goods. I don't know. I know somebody named Eleanor. We call her Miss L.
Yeah, you don't know nobody named Goods.
Miss Goods?
She got the goods. Like, well, don't let her be a little bit attractive with the goods.
They didn't say she was Miss Parker.
You ain't got to be Miss Parker. See, Miss Parker got a stereotype from the movie Miss Goods. It's said when you said Miss Good.
Anyways, so his 8-year-old nephew lived there. His name was RG. And then he has a 14-year-old nephew named Gigi.
Like, even if I was a dude, I would love for my name to be Gigi Goods. Well, what?
See,
girl, I got the goods.
It might,
That's what
and
the
that could be what the G stand for is goods. That makes sense.
I don't know.
But his name is Francis, so
Okay.
maybe he had a different daddy or something.
It could be.
And they had an elderly aunt that lived there too.
Miss Goods.
See?
Ooh.
Now, see, the thing about Miss Goods is her and the twin sisters, they were good friends. They went to garage sales together. And, when Francis needed a ride to school, they gave him a ride to school. They helped, pay some of the bills. Sometimes Miss Goods ain't have what she needed. They helped her out. And, sometimes when Carlton was short on funds, they'll let him hold well, they didn't let him hold nothing. They let him change the oil on a car to get some extra money. They had a 1980 Pontiac Grand Prix.
So, okay. What I understand from what you're saying, back in the day, when you helped the old person pay their bills, you took them to where they needed to pay their bill. I gotta take you to a check cashing store so you could pay your light bill.
So pay the light bill and stuff.
I take you to the city.
To the city hall to pay the water bill.
Or something like that. Like, that's what it sounds like. It don't sound like the twins were strapped for money, but, you sometimes...
No, I meant the other way around, like they was helping. But they might not have been helping her. It could have been, like you said, they just was like, hey, I can take you up here and help you.
But it seemed like it kind of started like that. Like, I'll take you here and this and that. And, they getting, I need some help with this. But shit, you want to change my oil. You can't just, I ain't just going to be giving you money. You going to have to earn it.
Makes sense. I mean, these jits. I mean, at the time, he a little boy.
I don't care if you're a little boy or you're an old man. You got to earn your dime.
And he was right next door. So, shit. 1983 to 97, I know jit.
Yeah. You could have been next door, up the street and around the corner. You still got to earn it, but okay.
So, Carlton, we talk a little bit about him. He wasn't described as just plain evil, but his mama did say that he had obsessive compulsive disorder, paranoid disorder, and unfortunately a heroin addiction.
That's a bad trio. We ain't gonna call it evil, but dang, that's.
And he suffered from psychotic episodes. That's what mental health experts said.
So it's not even a trio. This a whole cocktail. This is Long Island iced tea.
They say it's addiction and paranoia is pressure. It's straight pressure.
It's a Long Island iced tea.
It's
too many different things mixed together.
It's too much. He already sounds like he got a lot going on.
Poor child.
Well, here's a few things. A few things they saw early on. So Susan Wood, that's Claire's daughter. That's one of the twins.
Boy, these names, boy. These names is a porno classic. We got Woods and Goods.
So you ain't know nobody named Wood.
I knew somebody named Wood, but I ain't know nobody named Goods in the same conversation. So you know what I'm saying? We got Mr. Wood and he meet Mrs. Good.
Okay, but they don't even meet. Cause Good,
you know what I'm saying,
is an older lady, and then Woods is a younger girl, younger lady.
Well, then maybe you put them two together and you got some good wood. I don't know, but
Lord have mercy. No, Susan Wood is Claire's daughter.
Sorry, we just
one of the twins.
We just talking about names. I digress.
This is one of the twins' daughters. Now, she testified that she saw Carlton one day. He was standing outside, peeking through the vertical blinds and studying the inside of the house for minutes. Like, he just stood out there just staring and shit, just like a fucking weirdo. Then he finally knocked. And then she seen him do that more than one time. And, they just saying she felt like
that was okay.
She felt like that was like he was casing at this point. I guess she didn't put two and two together then. But as of, after the events that happened, she was like, you know what? He probably was casing that damn house.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that always makes sense in hindsight. So
right.
I can't say nothing.
So moving right along this is July 24th, 1997, around 11 a.m. Susan Wood called her mom and she was like, hey, I'm going to come visit. It's going to be between 3 and 4 o'clock. They retired. That's fine. 3 and 4 o'clock, that's fine. Now that same morning, RG and Gigi, they were swimming in Carlton them backyard pool. So apparently Carlton house got the pool. Now, Mrs. Brunt, which is one of the twins, she waved at them from her backyard, hey, babies. And then Francis, which is Carlton, he came outside by the pool area and he was carrying a green duffel bag. Now, RG, because RG is the 8-year-old, them little people be nosy as hell. You already know. He said he saw a silver pipe sticking out of the green duffel bag. Now, Carlton said he asked, that's his uncle. He asked Carlton, hey, where you finna go? And he was like, oh, I'm going to play basketball. And then he went back in the house. Now, later on, RG, which is the same 8-year-old, he tired of swimming. Kids' attention span be short as fuck. So He done swimming. Now he in the front yard getting ready to ride his bicycle. He saw one of the twins get a newspaper, and Carlton, he remembers he left his house. He left the house and he had on a white t-shirt and some blue shorts, but he was still carrying that green duffel bag. Now he also noticed it was a dark red stain on his shoulder, on Carlton's shoulder. At this point, Carlton walked towards the victim's house, which is the twins' house. Ultimately, they're the victims. Now, later that day, Carlton called RG over there and asked him, hey, did you see what was inside that bag? And RG was like, nah. And he was still outside riding his bicycle when Susan Wood and her son arrived at their house, because remember she was supposed to come between 3 and 4 o'clock. So now we between 3 and 4 o'clock. Now it gets much worse. This is the part where the disclaimer has to kick in, because Claire Brunt had 16 stab wounds. Her neck was severed. She had 2 deep back wounds that punctured her lungs, and 1 defensive wound. And she probably was only conscious for a few seconds or a few minutes, but not long. Now, Denise had...
How old are these twins?
They are 66, I believe.
Grandma age.
Yes. They're older. Like, hold on, I'm gonna go back. They 66 years old, yes.
I don't want to take nothing away from my mama, but my grandma, both of them were like 2 really big aces for me in my life. And I don't really want to hear nothing about no grandmas getting messed up. So I really hope whatever happens to Mr. Francis is to the full extent of the law.
We gonna get there.
Okay.
So Denise, she had 23 stab wounds, and her neck was severed as well. But she didn't have any defensive wounds. He stabbed them so much that he broke the knife.
23
to 24 stab wounds. They found 3 knives.
Carlos, you say Carlos Francis?
It's Carlton.
Carlton Francis. Carlton Francis has a cocktail of mental illness. And I've been in jail. I was locked up with some people who, because we as a society do not know how to deal with mental illness, it's a problem for those people and us.
It really is.
We don't address any of it properly.
I can't disagree with you. Being locked up has really opened my eyes to how we deal with mental illness, because I literally was standing next to or sleeping next to someone, and I'm like, this girl needs to be medicated. She don't need to be in jail. It's something damn wrong with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is she in here? She was gonna set herself up for failure. Like, I don't even know, in some cases, medication was gonna work. It's something genuinely wrong. But they just housed them with actual people who did crimes, who nothing is wrong with, but they did a crime. So I agree, like, something has to be done. Like, I don't know. It really opened my eyes, just being next to somebody who clearly was talking to the ceiling. I didn't see anybody up there, but hey, maybe that don't mean there wasn't nothing up there.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to make any excuses or anything, because I hate for anything to happen to anyone, young, old, in between, or whatever. And mental health is a problem.
It really is.
It's a problem that we need to address. When I say it's a problem and I complete the sentence, I need to continue to speak on the fact that now that we've identified that problem, we got to do something about it.
Yeah, but then it becomes an issue with the pharmaceutical companies. They don't want to cover it. You ain't got insurance. It's too much.
I mean, I can't get into...
And we'll be here all day.
...how we're going to address it, but we need to continue to keep focus on how we address things so that we can have less issues like this, because
in addition to, she also said that, well, we'll get to that, but because that's further along in what I'm going to tell you about Carlton. Now, I will say that they did recover 3 different knives. One was near the front door. One was on a wicker stool. You know what it is?
All right. You know the old school pictures, like the classic Huey Newton picture?
So it's like a footstool, kind of?
No. It's the stools that's made that be like woven together. That's what I think. Let me look it up.
Well, while you looking it up, also they also found one. Both of those knives had blood on them, and they also found a knife on the kitchen counter. That's the one that had the broken handle, but it didn't have any blood on it. Now, one knife had Mrs. Brunt's blood on it, and the other had Fliegel's blood on it. But all the blood in the home matched the victims, but none of the blood matched Carlton. Now, in the back bedroom, there was a metal lockbox that was forced open. Missing out of the metal lockbox was insurance papers, a passport, turn-of-the-century coins, 2 gold pocket watches, and one of them was engraved with a scroll pattern, a heart-shaped locket, a gold chain, a small black radio, and a car. Well, he stole the car because remember the daughter pulled up and noticed the car was gone. But no big items was taken. And they did find the car, but it was 3 miles away.
I was about to say, a car is a pretty big item, but okay.
They found it. It was 3 miles away. So now we're going to talk about a man named Charles C.J. Hicks. Now, CJ is a twice convicted felon, and he's an admitted heroin dealer. Because remember that Carlton, he's on heroin. His mom said that he's a heroin addict. So he got to get his heroin from somebody, and it happens to be CJ. Now, CJ lived about 4 miles. 4 miles from where Carlton lives. He lives with his wife, Sally, some nieces, and some nephews. And CJ met Carlton about 1 year prior to this event. And he met him because Carlton had paid him to change a tire on his car. But even though CJ worked as a mechanic and he was in construction too, he did a little bit of both. You know, he got a few little side jobs. He also sold drugs on the side.
He was trying to take care of his family.
I mean,
he was trying.
He did a little bit of everything.
Hey,
he was a hustler.
You had to do something to pay some bills.
Now, Carlton had bought heroin from him at least 10 times. You know what I mean? That's his regular dealer. Now, the problem is, at about 3:40, CJ saw Carlton. And he was in that tan Pontiac that was missing. It was parking behind a church. And he was carrying carrying that green duffel bag, you know, the one that RG said he had. And he had some gardening gloves. Now, Carlton came inside, he watched TV, but while he was watching TV, a news bulletin came on about the twins' murder. Now, at the time, Carlton just stared at the TV, no reaction. He bought about $10 of heroin. And then he asked CJ for a wheelbarrow and some gasoline. I guess CJ had, because Carlton tried to burn a white lady's purse. It had about $22 in it, a passport-looking document, some clothes, and he tried to burn that green duffel bag. Now, the dump remains in the trash pile. During that same afternoon, CJ saw Carlton holding car keys with a leather strap attached to the keychain. That happened to be the keys to their car. It was found in that debris. They found it in this trash pile. Now, a .22 Winchester rifle was halfway buried near an abandoned shack. It belonged to CJ. Spent casings found inside the victim's home matched that same gun. Okay,
you bring up a gun. I don't recall you ever saying that any of the victims had gun wounds.
So that was the problem, because it was no bullet wounds and it wasn't no bullet strikes on any of the victims. But the casings was there.
Okay.
And I don't know who shot, but they missed.
So the gun, it could not even been. It could have been something where you shoot as an intimidation factor. You know, shoot up into the ceiling or something like that. Hey.
And I'm glad you said that. So police feel like that he threatened them with the gun and stabbed them with the kitchen knife. So that's how the police feel like it went down.
It's plausible.
Now, in the house, they found some shoe print. It was consistent with a Nike size 8 to 10. Carlton, he wore a size 11 normally. But when he was arrested, he was wearing a size 9.5 Reeboks. They also found some latex gloves near the AC unit at the church.
He was killing people because his feet hurt. Dude, patience was short because his feet hurt. You around here size 11 with a 9.5 on.
Ain't nobody tell him to get no shoes that don't fit.
You know what I'm saying? He got corns, bunions, and everything. He got a whole side dish.
He could have went and found some shoes that fit. Ain't nobody tell him to get no 2 sizes too small ass Reeboks.
All I'm talking about is what he had. Poor fella.
The man feet hurt.
That'll give me some mental health issues too. Walking around with some 2 little shoes on every day. I hope it didn't say every day.
I hope not.
I'm a 10.5. You give me a 9.5, I'm gonna have a bad fucking day by 11 a.m.
11?
Yeah.
Okay, my feet are small because I'm not a big person. So I literally wear 5 in kids. So if you give me a 3.5 shoe, I can't even get that shit on my foot because my foot hurt before I can even get it in there. Just looking at the shoe, my foot hurt.
A size and a half is a size and a half. It don't matter if you wear a 5 and I wear this. Like we giving a size and a half difference. Like, come on, man. No.
It ain't happening.
No.
I ain't even putting the shoe on.
No.
He good because he walking around with them.
It's gonna be a bad day.
It definitely is.
It's gonna be a bad day. And I have to deal with traffic? What? No.
He ain't even driving. He ain't supposed to be. That ain't his car.
I don't know. But you have to see about my mental health. If I consistently wear them 2 little ass shoes, you know what I'm saying? By the end of the butt, I will have
you ready to fight and kill somebody. Somebody got to go.
Because I'm going to have a whole cocktail of mental health issues.
I don't think that his shoes being too small is what caused the issue.
It's going to cause it for me.
We're going to go to the thrift store and buy you some shoes that fit.
Is different. There's certain things. There's certain people. I believe there's people, not just dudes. But I was just at the barbershop and we were talking about a dude that I grew up with. I played football with. He was a cool dude, a real good dude. And he went off to college and something happened. And when he came back, whatever was dormant in him as a mental health issue came out, and he wasn't the same person. And that dude, that we still regard him as a friend and we still care about him, but he ain't the same person. He ain't never been the same dude no more.
Yeah, I think I'm somewhat dealing with that, but I'm not entirely sure on the facts, so I can't even say it, but I kind of figure that's what it is. In this case, though, they did find some latex gloves near the church AC unit, and they found, because I think I said it, the gun was buried there behind the church. And they also found some rubber gloves in a shed, and they found that Carlton's grandma, she kept gloves in the house, so it matched the gloves that she kept in the house. Okay, so around 7 p.m., Carlton, he called a taxi cab at the Tamarind cab stand that's on Tamarind Avenue.
I know Tamarind Avenue. I know Tamarind.
That's where he called the taxi cab from. I mean, believe it or not, we like 45 minutes from West Palm, we give or take. So
one of my best friends in the world his family is from Palm Beach, even though he grew up in Broward with us. And we would catch the train to Palm Beach. We would go up there with him. We would hang out with him. Like, I know Palm Beach very well. And then my eldest son's mother is from that same area. Being that when I met her in college and we would come home on holidays, I was very comfortable and it was very easy for me to go to those areas and be...
Because you done been around it with your boy.
Yeah, I really did.
But this is just where he caught the cab at. So he took the cab and he went back home. But by this time, of course, it's a lot of shit going on. Police done roped off the scene. And he can't even get to his house. So he had to get out early. Like a little bit, not quite to his house. At this point, they've already assigned a detective. His name is Detective Wills. What he noticed is that Carlton never even looked at the house the incident took place at. He noticed that Carlton arrived at like 7:25 and he walked straight ahead. Then he turned and walked up his driveway and directly into the front door of his house. Like it was shit going on next door. And everybody know, like, if some shit going on at my neighbor's house, I'm outside.
It's some rubbernecking and some liquor horn.
I'm trying to see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't going straight in my house. But now he got on a light blue Orlando Magic tank top, some blue faded denim jeans, but he still got on those same Reeboks. Now this is where the lies start kicking in. So Detective Wills, he reached out his hand. He basically, Detective Wills went to their house, and he gets inside, and he reached out his hand to shake hands with Carlton, but Carlton, he looked scared and he stepped back, like, yeah. Detective Wills says, I'm investigating the murder of your next door neighbor. Carlton, he was like, yeah, I already knew about it because I seen it on the news. Now Detective Wills is like, I understand that you were home earlier. And Carlton, like, how you know? Now Wills, then he answered and said that his mama had mentioned it. So Miss Goods had told him that he was home earlier, but he wasn't there now. So why Carlton gonna look at his mama and say, Mama, why did you tell him that? So Carlton said he went to his friend Gundy's house, but when they was like, okay, that's cool, you went to Gundy's house, but where Gundy stay at? He don't know the address.
It's a lot of people, especially in 1997, in the GPS era. You might get me where you can go through my GPS history, if you will, and look up an address. It's a lot of stuff back in the days. I just know how to get there.
But that's the thing. He couldn't even tell you how to get there. He couldn't even tell you a general area. He couldn't, nothing. It just, he went to Gundy's house. Like, come on. You can at least say, nah, Gundy stay in,
but you know he got
Lauderdale.
You know he got
something.
You know he got his challenge.
So just because you slow does not mean.
We never said he was slow. We said mental health.
Okay.
He could be very sharp, but
she didn't say he was slow. She said he had obsessive compulsive disorder and some psychotic. Paranoia.
So they trying to get me. I can't tell them the information because they're trying to get me.
I suppose. At this point, Carlton Francis, he then said that he don't want to be the next victim and that he don't want to be involved, and he walked away. Now, at this point, the detective left Carlton's house, and about 30 minutes later, he saw Carlton walk out of his house carrying 3 garbage bags. Now that looks suspect. Now, I just left there 30 minutes ago. So Detective Wills, he go back over there. He was like, where you going? And he said he was going to leave for safety reasons. And he also said that his mama threw him out the house.
Why your mama throwed you out the house, player? And somebody just died next door.
Yeah,
Excuse me, ma'am. Can I talk to you, please?
It's suspect.
I need to talk to your mammy.
Oh, she finna talk. Oh, trust me, she about to talk. Because Detective Wills asked Carlton if the clothes he was wearing were the same clothes he had when he left the house this morning. And then his mama started, that's when she chimed in, don't lie. You was not wearing them clothes earlier. You told me you got them clothes from a friend. So now he done changed clothes and his shoes and his story. When Detective Wills asked Carlton...
So he ain't got on the 2 little Reeboks?
No, he done changed clothes now.
Oh, he got on some...
Remember he had on a white shirt and some denim jean pants? That's what that's what the Jit said. He had on the RG, the nephew. He done changed everything. So now when Detective Wills asked Carlton, what are clothes that you had on earlier? Carlton started looking through one of the plastic bags, and he pulled out a pair of checker shorts and said, yeah, this is what I had on earlier. Now, here go his mama again. Don't lie. I saw them shorts on the bathroom floor. Now, Carlton then said he didn't have on the checker shorts earlier, and he guessed the clothes he was wearing earlier was at Gundy's house because he can't find them. Detective Wills, no, he still got on the Reeboks because Detective Wills asked whether the Reebok shoes he had on were the same shoes he had on earlier. But before he could answer, his mama chimed in again. You told me you got them from your friend too. Carlton said he got the shoes from a friend, that the sneakers were with his clothes at Gundy's house. Now, at this time, a taxi arrived and Carlton left. He was transported to a location near CJ's house. But what happened is that night, he began sleeping in an abandoned shack that was right next to CJ's house, and they never did figure out who the fuck Gandy was.
I'm not trying to make no excuses for this dude, right? The whole time I wonder if you say Gandhi?
Yeah, Gandhi.
I don't know if you're pronouncing it incorrectly, but Gandhi, like the dude from India, did he make this? Did he make this person up? Is this a real person?
They never found him, so I don't even think he's real.
Has it ever been
No.
verified that this is a real person?
They never found Gandhi.
Okay, because it don't.
Gandhi.
It don't really sound like when you say Gandhi. I'm like, Gandhi, bald head, Gandhi.
Yeah, and the monk
with the glasses. Not a monk. He's not a monk. Don't say that. He's not a monk.
Well, then you know what I mean. He had on
Gandhi.
He had on the
Gandhi
robe thing.
Gandhi put on that appearance somewhat, but he was not a fucking monk.
So what you call the thing he had on? The little robe thing.
He had some shit on, but what you gotta understand in the concept of a monk, like you see how the dudes was walking across the country.
Right.
Those were monks. They embraced everybody. Gandhi, in his fundamental practice, believed in casteism. Casteism is probably the wrong way to say it, but he believed in a caste type system where based off the color of your skin, I fuck with you or not. So us, me and you, we darkies. We would not have been on the in crowd. As much as Gandhi was for some shit, he was for some shit for just a group of people. He was not for some shit for every fucking body.
I hope that Carlton, you wonder, like, is this something that he looked into?
And Carlton might not have been that deep with Gandhi. It's just, I kind of went off on a little tangent on Gandhi, but like, it kind of seemed like Gandhi?
Yeah, that's the name he came up with.
No, not Ted, Fred, or Michael.
No. RJ, anything. He could have came up Dre.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. Tito.
Anything. He comes up with Gandhi.
Yeah.
Now later he asked for a lawyer, and then he wanted to talk again, and he mentioned coins, watches, a gun, a radio, before detectives even brought him up. So at this point, everything, he just straight cap.
That's not cap. If it is what it is, cap is some lying stuff.
He definitely lied about all that stuff. He talking about the stories that he done changed. He done talking about all the different clothes he done put on.
The detectives don't know that he got all of these mental issues. So the crazy part is he believe all of this stuff he telling you, officer.
And now, remember I said that he caught the taxi and he ended up at an abandoned shack. Mm-hmm. While he was in the abandoned shack, he tried to pawn some coins, pocket watch, the necklace. He also tried to trade those items for an assault rifle. And then he tried buying a gun from a dealer named Bruce Brown's. He told him that he had the money, but he couldn't get to it. Now, another guy named George Dean said that Carlton tried to sell him a necklace that looked like something an old person would wear. The necklace had a long chain and an attached locket on it. So you already know what he was trying to do. Like, hey, I ain't got the money right now, but the money coming. So he can try to get this gun he wanted. Nah, bro.
So you want me to hold some hot jewelry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's even tied to a murder. You trying to make me an accessory to it? Man, boy.
I don't think George knew that at the time. He just was like, I don't want no goddamn necklace.
He didn't know it. But then if he would have found it out.
Yeah. Hell no. You got me fucked up, bro. All the way.
I'll beat your crazy ass.
So here's what the defense is saying, for the most part. What they saying is, there's no fingerprints, there's no hair fibers, there's no DNA linking Carlton to the scene. What they saying links him to the scene is CJ Hicks, the twice convicted felon, and the heroin dealer. And they just kept like drilling in on that. Yeah. Jury they pretty much wasn't buying it. Carlton, yeah. What they be saying? He was grits. So they deliberated for 8 days. Well, no, the trial was for 8 days. And at the end of the eight days, sorry, I don't know why I'm tongue twisted, but at the end of the 8 days, he was found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of robbery with a deadly weapon, 1 count of burglary with assault and battery, 2 counts of aggravated battery on a person 65 and older, and 1 count of grand theft. And you already know what he was sentenced to.
Life if not death.
Death. He got the death penalty for both murders, plus 5 years for grand theft, and 3 concurrent life sentences. So he can die and come back 2 3 times, and his ass still got to go back to prison.
He'll live out a whole one of those life sentences just fighting the death penalty.
But then he got 2 more. So, let's hear your takeaways.
My takeaways? We as a society gotta do more. We as a society gotta do way more with mental health. First thing, what I believe is, in the 90s, we as a society ignored a lot of the signs or the symptoms that we should have focused on and addressed when it comes to mental health.
You know, and I'm wondering if mental health was tied into some of the, like they said, okay, he's into heroin. And one of the things that we learned with mental health is a lot of people will self-medicate.
It's definitely, look at the addicted community, and that's the first place you want to tackle mental health.
Well, from my understanding, addiction is an issue. It's a mental health issue.
Addiction is a mental health issue, but when I make that statement, I'm almost agreeing with you and piggybacking off of what you're saying, and saying that because people with mental health issues self-medicate, the addicted community is the first place we need to look if we want to address those in our society who have been affected with mental health. It's one of the first places we need to look.
Definitely, because something's not right.
I'm not.
You know, I remember reading, I believe my uncle got into some kind of drug rehab program, and that was one of the things he said was, it was something as a young adult where he felt like, I have to keep up and I have to be this person. And he had like a lot of pressure on him. And he's like, I'm going to take these drugs because I feel like it may make me more productive, or it may make me a better person. And in reality, it made him a way worse person.
I'm not going to say that I have an experience. I have some friends. I have a friend that I consider as one of my best friends. And at one point, he sold a lot of drugs in this Fort Lauderdale area, a whole lot, to the point where not something that you would promote, but his name rang bells in the streets, in the crime community.
He probably knew my uncle. Shoot.
But even with that being said, he went to prison for 15 years.
Right.
Now.
And you know, during that time, they was trying to crack down hard on the drug dealers. If they put more focus on that, then if they would take that same energy and put that shit into getting rid of some of these mental health issues we had, like, bro, anyway, sometimes we'll go down the rabbit hole, and again, like we always say, it'd be another topic for another podcast.
I'll tell you like that. That's my friend, and I love him to death. And every time he did what he did, he knew the conscious decision that he was making to do it. Every friend that I've ever known, that I personally know, somebody that I regard as a friend, if they do something wrong or immoral, they know it. They were raised with a very good moral compass.
It's the money motivator. I mean,
whatever the motivator may be. What I'm trying to get you to understand is they know that even if they get away with it and they go home and they try to pray and repent. I wasn't really raised around people, and I didn't really associate with people who did not have that moral compass, even if they did things that were wrong. I'm not saying that everything that a person did was 100% correct, but I know there's a lot of stuff that some of my homeboys did that they know were knew it was morally incorrect, but I got a baby at home I got to feed. I got stuff I need to take care of.
In the neighborhoods that some of the big time dealers or whatever, yes, they did what they did. But if you listen, a lot of times they did a whole lot for the community. Like, they did a lot for their families and whatnot. Like, it's not that they horrible. I don't know too many that was horrible people. And, you know, in hindsight, but they are drug dealers at the same time, so society gonna paint them as bad guys.
Yeah, I mean, and to a degree, like, let's say what it is. We grown. They're not good guys.
Well, no,
they may not be good. I'm not saying that they're good or bad people, but yeah, come on, like, we know what it is.
Right. Well, At the end of the day, it was two elderly sisters, and right next door, it was the kid that they trusted. So at this point, it's time for me to give my spiel. Y'all already know. We are online. You can check out the podcast on Apple, on Spotify, and YouTube at Florida Ain't Sweet. You can also find us on Instagram at Florida Ain't Sweet Pod and TikTok at Florida Ain't Sweet. And also, if you have a suggestion or of a case that you want me to do, they can be missing. They can, they don't have to be necessarily one of those people that got a first degree murder or they got death or anything like that. We can do second degree murder, but you can email me at floridaain'tsweet@gmail.com. Just make sure they black, because this is black true crime at the end of the day.
And it don't have to be a suggestion. Give us some feedback. Let us know. Let her know. I'm just a humble guest on the show. Let Miss Pumpkin know what's going on and let her know your feedback.
I take it. I try not to be offended.
It's not about being offended, but how do we know when we're getting better or worse? If not, we take the feedback.
It's simple. So, you already know what I want y'all to remember about Florida. Down here, the sunshine don't blind us and the streets don't lie. It's real heat in these streets because Florida ain't sweet.
Large.